Hey, everyone, how are you? Okay, so I do owe you a video. I said I would get it done, and we'll definitely go ahead and do that now. So it was the 40-day fast, which honestly, it wasn't like it was a food fast, but that's not what it turned out to be at all. And I figured that out, really quickly into it for whatever reason. I knew I had to do it, and pretty much like as soon as I started this thing, it started to get gnarly and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And it was nothing that I expected. Um, Caught me off guard quite a bit. It was extremely traumatic for me, and I honestly don't want to talk about it at all. And my brain has done something really strange, which I've never had it happen before. But if you have like a traumatic event or something, you just especially the closer you are to that event, you remember it and you're thinking about it and like you're obsessing over it and the images and smells and sounds and like everything is fresh, right? So your mind is just focusing on it. But my mind, for whatever reason, it's like compartmentalized it somehow. Like it's done something with that information and it's kind of like tucked in a corner and my brain is not even trying to access it. So I don't know what that's all about, but it seems like a protective mechanism of sorts. And I understand because I went through it. I went through like everything has happened in that room, and that was a horror show back there and over here and kind of wherever I fell out onto the floor. So it's really rough. And it was so bad that somehow, and I'm extremely happy, my brain has like grabbed the information and like tucked it in the corner, which is pretty interesting. Um, so I obviously I've got the book, right? I've got the information. I can look at it, and I had every intention of like going through this day by day and like going through the symptoms and checking everything with you and like just explaining every single detail. But I personally, this is the first day since this all started. This is the first day that I have felt good, and I have not felt like I got spiritually, mentally, and physically destroyed in this bedroom and in this house. Um, I did not see that coming. It was traumatic, and I don't want to go into the details. And honestly, I don't think they're going to help you with anything. Like what I had to deal with was really specific, and it was something that, for whatever reason, I had to do. So I went in there and I did it, and I had no idea what I was like literally walking into because it did not go well. But I did get through it. So the good news is I got through it. That's really what matters. I don't think we need to go into every gory detail, and I don't want to spread that kind of information. It's not going to help you. It's just probably going to scare you. And I personally, if it's so bad, in my brain, which doesn't hasn't done this before, is kind of tucking it away so that I could get. Of course, I can remember it, but my brain is not like grabbing it and showing me pictures and like reminding me. Like it's just literally like just kind of set it aside, and I'm totally okay with that because today is the first day I feel like a normal human being again, and I haven't this entire time, and it just kept getting worse every day. But I'll cover like just a few of the high points to because I told you I would, and some of these things I've already said through the text anyway, so you already know, right? I had that entity, and I probably honestly won't ever talk about this stuff again. It's not necessary. You don't need to know it. I don't even understand it, really. I don't need to know it. It's done. So I put it in the rear view and I move on. Um, I want to just completely forget about it. And this book, I'll keep it for reference just in case, for whatever reason, I need to read it. Could I write a book with literally what's in here? An entire book just on that? Oh, yeah, easily. But I wouldn't because the information's not going to help people. It's not going to help you do anything. I don't know enough about it. I mean, it would sound scary and maybe interesting, but that's not going to help anyone. It's just going to be scary stuff, and we got enough scary stuff in the world, and I don't think we need any more. So it's just something I had to deal with. Some bills had to get paid, and I paid them. That's kind of what it boils down to. So, but a couple, just the big things, right? The entity thing, whatever you want to call it. It did eventually in the fast. So this is how I know I had to do it, right? Because the thing had been there for a little while and it wasn't really hurting me. I didn't know what it was doing. I still really don't. Were there some potential healings? Potentially, yeah, maybe. I felt things in my body, in areas where I've done damage to myself, like in my throat, from all the years of smoking cigarettes, and stuff like that, like doing stupid stuff. It got really raw back there. And eventually, a doctor told me, like, kind of when this all started, like, hey, it looks a little, it didn't say precancerous, just that it looked, I forget the term that she used, abnormal cells, something like that, like a couple of abnormal cells had started or something like that. So I think cancer is related to that, like abnormal cell growth or like unrestrained cell growth. So yes, I felt things back there in that exact area. Was it healing? It's possible. I don't know that. I don't have any medical equipment here to test anything, so I can't prove that anyway. I hope so. I sure hope so. Hey, God wants to heal it. I'll take it. No problem. Would that have been worth it for what I had to go through? It's really hard to say no to that. But if you'd gone through that, you'd probably say no. Maybe. It was bad. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at this point. So things like that. And it wasn't just the throat. Like there were some other areas they're kind of like touched on, and I felt things. And were those, I don't know. I hope so. Time will tell. We'll see. But she did eventually move up. I say she because I'm a guy. I'm probably just biased like that. And her little like wings just kind of like spread out, like cords or whatever, like little wings just kind of spread out in the chest area there. So, and as soon as that happened, she locked in, and I never really felt her again. That was it. And that's when things really got interesting. So it completely nosedived after that. It felt like it was like pinned to the bed. Like there's too much gravity here. Like 2 or 3 times too much gravity. It was really weird. And I don't understand it. Never really got better. Like the whole thing was just awful. And there were symptoms all over the place and scary things, that were happening, but none of that's going to help you. And I don't want to relive it. So I had planned on like going through here and checking all this stuff, but I just don't want to. So I'm sorry. I went through it and I don't want to relive it again. And if my mind is smart enough, which hadn't happened before, but if it's smart enough to block it out, then I know it's dangerous for me. So if it's dangerous for me, I definitely shouldn't be sharing it with you, right? It's not good information. It's dark stuff, and it doesn't matter. The bill's paid. So it got done. I don't know how it got done. I have no idea how I made it 40 days through that, and it wasn't just 40 days. It was 40 days plus more days after that, and like probably like 30 some odd days out of this whole fast. I was so messed up. Like I had to pee sitting down. I could barely make it to the bathroom. I would almost like fall over going to the bathroom. And I would get in there and like just, it was horrible. I was a horror show the entire time. and it didn't stop. It literally did not stop. And some of the worst days I had were like days like 37, 38, 39, like towards the end. And like the worst, I'm still doing some coughing. Like I said, like there's still things kind of going on. I think it's like a clearing out process maybe. But I don't think there's anything like nefarious or bad about whatever that was. And I don't even feel it anymore. So, it's done. Did it absorb into me? I guess that's what happened. Maybe. It locked in and then eventually I couldn't feel it anymore. So maybe it disappeared in there. I don't know. But but that's it. Like I had, feelings and maybe healings. Who knows? Time will tell on that. It was tragic. I've never been broken like that in my life. I've gone through some spiritual stuff and I've seen some wicked things. But that that was definitely the worst by far. And I would never do it again, ever. So if anyone's even thinking about trying that, you are insane. Because I can take a pretty good beating when it comes to spiritual things. I take a beating, I can get up and beat me up. I'll get up probably again. But like that, had I known going in what it was going to be, would I have even started it? I would have had to. Like, there's no way around that. I was going to have to do it, and I know it. And the way I know it is because, like, some of those potential, like, healings, things like that, like, they took place at the very end of the fast. The worst spiritual purging or whatever they call that when you're just, like vomiting up stuff. Not always stuff. It's not always productive. But you're just like, blah, blah, and you're just barfing and barfing and barfing, and you're like retching your back, and you're like this cat, and it's horrible, horrible. I've never done that. I've never even had that happen, and it just went on for 40 days. Like, usually when people go do something like that, some kind of spiritual, whatever, like fast to do the purging, I mean, they probably do the purging at the end, and that's it. It's probably like the end of the ceremony or whatever. But this, it was the whole time. Like, I'm like bent over out of the bed the whole time, like purging and spitting and these horrible like flavors and frogs and like, trust me, it was wild, absolutely wild and terrifying. And I don't want to live it again. So I don't even think you'd care, honestly. At this point, I don't even think you care. All that matters is some bills needed to get paid. They got paid. It's done. Doesn't have to be done again. You're not going to have to do it. So any of this information is really not going to help you anyway. And I'm happy to close the book and be done with it. So this will probably complete the video series. Up to this point, I did promise you the video, and I know I had all intentions of like making this like a 4-hour video and breaking it down and just going through everything and all these details. And I'm sure people would watch it and talk about it and maybe enjoy it. Or, well, they wouldn't enjoy it. You wouldn't. Because if I started talking about this and I really got into the details, I'm telling you, I would start crying. It would not take long. And that's going to take me right back there. And wherever they hid that information up, it's not hidden. I mean, I can get to it. But wherever it's tucked away, like, I'm okay with those boxes staying closed. They don't need to be opened. This book's not going anywhere. It's not getting sold. I'll keep it in case I ever need it. There's no book going to be written about it. It's just done. It needed to be done, and it's done. So I'm happy with that. I'm sorry you didn't get a more substantive video out of it, but I just don't think the information is useful. I don't think it's going to help you, and it could hurt you. So just scary stuff like that, there's no reason to do it. There's no reason to spread that information. No one needs it. We got enough scary movies out there, and you don't need to see this one. But as far as like the big points, I think that's it, right? So could be some healing there, maybe. God, I hope so. I sure hope so, because I made a lot of mistakes, right? my personal mistakes, things that I did, cigarettes, alcohol, stupid things, like childish things. And I got bit because, I kept puffing those smokes, and you're just a kid, you just keep puffing away and you're like, oh, it's fine, I'll live forever, I'm good. And it doesn't work like that. And eventually, those problems show up and you think, oh, scratchy throat, no big deal. And then, yeah, it's scratchy a little more and a little more and a little more. And then, and then you look back here and it's like, oh, gee, that's like raw beef. So, and that's not good. And then the doc's like, well, it's like abnormal cell growth, which I don't think that's precancerous, but in my mind, like, it sounds precancerous to me. Like abnormal, it's not good. So maybe I got something out of that. I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, went up there. She disappeared after she locked in, and then the whole fast went absolutely mayhem once that happened. Bonkers. Do I, problems sleeping? I wouldn't call them problems. I don't really sleep at night. But honestly, like I don't have the television on. So it's so peaceful. And I have like hours to just sit there and like recollect and think about things. And I honestly don't mind. I don't mind the quiet. I kind of like peace and quiet. So it doesn't bother me. I feel fine. I don't feel any different. I feel like the same exact person. Nothing has changed. I don't feel anger. In fact, it's funny you mentioned that. Funny I mentioned it. Like, I feel like my anger is better for some reason. I feel like just smoothed out a little bit. And I don't know why. Just I feel a little smoother. Things are a little more oiled, and I know my voice is a little raspy and stuff in my chest, but trust me, I looked like death, like just kind of walking around. It was really bad. And today, I feel good. And it's only been, I don't know, 5 days after the fast or something. So that's not the worst considering where I was. So I feel fine. I actually feel better than I did before. I just feel like my mind's a little more clear. I don't I don't really have any anger issues, so I feel smoothed out. Like the edges are just kind of sanded down a little bit. I was really worried about all those memories and how I was going to deal with that because my mind is like that. Like I'll focus on things. When something really bad happens like that, like even though I shouldn't, my mind will just focus on it, and then the images come up, and then your mind gets like tangled around, and you just can't let go of it. But but this time, I guess it's like a protective mechanism, and somehow my mind just kind of packaged it up and like set it aside or something. I mean, obviously it's up there. I could access it, but my brain never tries to access it. It just literally just ignores it. And I'm totally fine with that. And I'm just going to leave it like that. So it'll be a short video. I don't know that I'll make any more videos anytime soon. Not really sure where I go from here because I kind of feel like that is what I had to do. For whatever reason, I had to get that done. And if I hadn't gotten that done, there were things that I'm quite certain at the end of this fast came off of me, right? Hexes, curses. Look, I don't live in those with those people. Like, I don't walk in those circles. I don't know people like I'm sure I know them. I just don't know it. But I don't walk in those circles. I don't know a single spell. I don't know any spells. I don't know any magic. I don't know any of that stuff. So why I had to deal with that and all these like spells and curses and stuff they're throwing all over me. Like, I'm not a freaking magician. Like, you got the wrong guy. You magic folks are attacking this guy. I'm not a magician. I don't do magic. I don't throw curses. I don't know any of that stuff. So why I had to get curses and hexes and little like hoodies that the fast is over. Like I feel like this little like hoodie like get pulled off my head somehow, like a little astral hoodie, like just weird things like that. And I know that whatever these things were that I got shaken off, like the lizards in the mouth, the lizard taste and all this stuff, like all that stuff got shaken off, and the stalactites in my nose, like all that stuff, that those curses have been put on me a while ago by somebody that I'm not gonna get into it with her. It doesn't matter now because it all worked out. Everything that was thrown on me for whatever reason, even though I don't do magic, so I'm not sure why you're attacking me with freaking magic. I don't do that stuff, but you're hitting me with it. Why? I didn't do that stuff. I didn't do anything to you. But it doesn't matter. It's done. All those various hexes and curses and little bags on whatever this stuff is. I don't know what all this stuff is. But whatever all that was, it's all been shaken off. So I don't know why I had to pay those bills. I don't know why I got attacked by every magician in the world. I don't know why you guys hate me. I really don't. Um, I don't know why. It's just, you don't like me. It is what it is. I guess we play on different teams. Okay, so what? You know, that's fine. Get your licks. That's fine. It's done. But apparently, like what I needed to do, I got done because all that stuff got shaken off, and some of that stuff took to the very last day. So I'm telling you right now, if I had not finished that fast, and I'm talking about every day, every single day, if I would have quit on day 39, I would have had to go back and do that whole thing over again. Because there was some kind of contract or something in place somewhere, and I could feel it. But I didn't sign any contracts, so I don't know what that was all about. But some paperwork was done. There's some spiritual contract somewhere that got torn up when I got done with that fast. And am I glad that I got done with that fast? I can already tell. I can just see it when I drive around. I can tell when I look on social. I can just tell that whatever things I had on me got broken off, snapped off. However you get these things off, they got busted off because of that fast and because of my obedience to get it done. And I did. And it was terrible. And I don't care at this point because it's done. I don't care who was involved because it's done. So there's no reason to be angry at people. For whatever reason, I had to go through it. And I did. So now all that paperwork, I guess, all these problems, it's put to rest. It's done. I'm not angry at anybody. I don't have time for anger. I really don't know what I'm going to do right now, to be honest. I don't feel like doing commentary is like what I'm supposed to be doing right now at all. I just feel like that was some major step that I had to get through, and I got through it. So I think, if God wants to open a door, like it'll probably happen now. When? I don't know. I gave up on trying to rush this a long time ago. It's so much easier to just let that wheel go. You know, I was put in this house with my brother and my mother to take care of them because that's my family. So it's my job to take care of them. She's elderly. He's got lots of issues that we're working through. But he needs me. She needs me. I need them. It works. And I tell you what, when you're down and out in a spiritual fight, getting kicked all over your bedroom, like Mom Bird showed up. Like she's swooping around. She wants to know, if I need anything to drink and I need anything to eat. And obviously I know it's irritating because I'm like fasting and I got to explain that to her, but she was there. She was trying to help. Sometimes offering me things she shouldn't, but it was out of love. I know that. But like, did I want to get this done? But I laid in those sheets for 40 days, right? I would only brush my teeth with just every like week or two, maybe like whenever it got really grimy, with just water and the bristle. Like it was ripe in here, let me tell you. Ooh. Oh, the smells. The smells. It doesn't matter. But that's it. It's done. My brain's smart enough not to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't think you want to hear about it. I don't mind talking to you about anything else, but I just don't feel there's any need to go back there and talk about that ever again. I've told you everything major there was. Can't think of anything. Talked about that thing, entity, whatever it was. Seems like it's gone or absorbed wherever it went. It doesn't really matter to me because I feel good. I feel smoothed out. I feel fine. I don't have any problems. I feel honestly better, I think, than before, which is good. I didn't expect that, so that's good. And everything's okay. All the spells and the weird issues in my body all got knocked off, banged off. That should all be done. All those deals are done. And I just move on. So I'll have to figure it out, ask God for guidance, and figure out, what my next step is. I don't know. It doesn't need to be immediate, right? Like I just finished this thing. Today is the first day that I can actually say that I feel like a normal human being again. And I'm really happy about that. So I don't have anything on the agenda today. Probably going to kind of take it easy. And I don't feel bad about that. And I got really used to not watching the news. And I've got so much more time in my life now where I just don't turn the TV on. And I feel better. I don't turn it on. If I want to watch a movie or something and check something out, like I'll do it. But like the news and stuff, it's just so depressing for me. And with everything going on, like I found that if I keep it off, I'm just happier. I don't know why. It sounds weird, but my mind, like when I give my brain time and I turn off the stimuli, no TVs, like the phone, whatever. I'll have the phone there. Sometimes I turn it off or not, but it doesn't really bother me because I don't really have friends, so no one calls me. Like telemarketing calls, that's about it. And it's fine. So my brain just relaxes. There's no stimuli. I can just let my mind wander. Like I'll just have a thought and chase it a little bit, and have another thought, and I just do that, and my mind just relaxes. I never realized how much of an impact TV had on me. I don't know that I had like ADHD or anything. I mean, it's possible. I'm not sure. But my brain was always like a little jumpy, it kind of like grab onto things and go over here and go over there and kind of run around. So it was a frisky mind. But it feels better now, I think. Calmer. So maybe it's the television and keeping it off, I think is probably good. Maybe people should do it more often. Give yourself time to rest and just do stuff around the house, kind of bring the focus in a little bit. But I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I think we're good on that conversation. So I'm ready to do whatever God has next for me, whatever that is. I don't know what it is yet. Obviously, I don't have resources, so I'm here for the meantime. If God wants me somewhere, a door will open. That's how I look at it. I'm not in a hurry. God's got this all figured out. So I'm just gonna, now that I've done my piece that I had to do, that big piece is done. So now I just kind of wait for further guidance. But maybe we'll talk about other things on video. I don't know. But as far as the video series, like the whole thing that I started, this is the culmination. And I know it's kind of sad. It's not really going to be a long one, and the content's not great. But it is what it is, and that's it. And who cares, right? The fast is done. So we'll figure out where we go next from here. But I hope everything's going great with you. And until we speak next time, just remember, God loves us, and there's lots of things God does for us that we don't always know, and that's okay. But sometimes there are things done behind the scenes that happen and that help us. And I'm sure I've been saved many times, and I don't know about it, but I'm sure it's happened many times that I don't know about it. So hope you have a great day, and that's it. So we'll talk next time.